Kia ora koutou. I'm Kirsten from Yoogo. We're up on the screen. Just to tell you a little bit about us, we actually started, doesn't seem to be clicking through. Should we go? Oh, perfect. It's not pushing when I'm pushing it, but it's, there we go. Where we've come from. So we started as a fleet leasing company in 2014, and what became very apparent to us, because we put GPS in every single vehicle that we managed, by 2015 we had a lot of customers that had a lot of cars, and when we looked at the GPS we could see that they were sitting in car parks all day, and it got us thinking about, here are these companies, and yes, they're paying us a lot of money to lease these vehicles, but they're so poorly utilised. And our business is actually, our head office is based in Auckland, and we thought, you know, we sit in traffic a lot in Auckland, very wise living in Christchurch is all I can say. And we thought there's got to be a smarter way of doing that. And at the same time, we were getting heavily involved with electric vehicles as well. And at the end of 2015, it was actually Christchurch City Council that came up with an RFP around car sharing. Sorry, it's still, yeah, brilliant. And a lot of you may ask, you know, sharing, why would you share a car? Because, you know, the New Zealand mentality very much is to own. We like to own our quarter acre section, and most of us, you know, saved up for our first car. So it would be, why would you share a car and not own it? So that's just got some of the benefits up on the screen. You've obviously don't have to outlay any money or have any lease fees for the vehicle, so you're only paying for the time that you use the vehicle. There's when the two cars that we're putting into Christchurch, there's two different options, which is the Hyundai Ioniq and the BMW i3, and you'll see both of them out there. And if you haven't had a chance to take them for a spin, please do so. They're lots of fun. So what we're doing is, as Nick said, there is a need for sharing of cars, of bicycles. We're starting with cars, but in time we would like to have bikes, and we would like to have vans and trucks. So, you know, if you need a 4x4 to take away for the weekend, you might not own one, but you've got that opportunity to go and share one and book it out. You obviously, for the businesses, it's very attractive because they don't have to put in charging infrastructure, which can be quite challenging. And you know, special thanks to Orion, which have helped us with this project, because, you know, we're installing 100 chargers across the city, and it is really hard for a lot of businesses when they are like, oh my goodness, what electric vehicle should we put into our fleet? What chargers should we put into our fleet, and how much is that all going to cost? So this is why the model is attractive as well. So our customers don't have to worry about parking costs as well. So we lease all the car parks, and we also insure the cars. So it's the ability to go green without the cost. So all of the vehicles that we're putting into Christchurch are pure electric vehicles. So they're battery electrics, they're BEVs. So there's no combustion engines tucked in there as well. So for Christchurch, it's amazing, and Cantabrians should feel very happy that, you know, car sharing's alive and well overseas, but that's mainly done with combustion engines, where this will be the biggest rollout of pure electric vehicles into car sharing anywhere else in the world. So it is a real world first for Canterbury, so it's something to be proud of. So the businesses that have signed up to the Shared Fleet project, we call them our foundation members, you know, they've been led by Christchurch City Council. We've also got the 12 businesses lined up there, and they're getting rid of over 115 combustion vehicles out of their fleets. So there's 3,200 drivers within those 12 businesses, and you've got 115 combustion engines coming off Christchurch roads, and we're putting in 100 pure electric vehicles. So it's a neat story for the city as well, and something to, you know, something for Cantabrians to be proud about. So as I said, 100 cars are going into the city. The first 12 went into the art gallery hub this week, and they're going through testing at the moment, and our foundation members are getting free of use charge on, free of use for those cars in December and January, getting their staff familiar with electric vehicles, and then obviously sharing them as well is a little bit different for people. We also open up the airport hub this month, and also the West End car park, which is known as KEB, King Edward Barracks, and Hereford Street. So those 3 hubs open this month, and then next month we're opening further hubs at Littleton Community Centre, Fendleton Library, Papanui Library, Ara Institute, the Crossing, which is very close to the transport hub that Nick was talking about, and also in time Lichfield and Canterbury University as well. So there'll be a variety of hubs. When we first launch, it is at A to A, so if you pick it up from the airport, you need to return it to the airport. But then in time, we will move to some hubs becoming A to B hubs. So if you pick it up from the airport, you could leave it at, say, the Terrace car park in Hereford Street when that one opens next year. So there's a lot of learnings, learnings for us, learnings for our customers. Car sharing is a new concept. So this first phase for us is about getting our foundation members, which I showed you in the previous slide, familiar with electric vehicles and familiar with sharing them. Next year, this will also open up to the general public to book the cars as well. So we're excited about that, to have hubs like Ara Institute, which is the Polytech, and also the university, because if we can get tomorrow's drivers driving pure electric vehicles and potentially not having to buy a vehicle, that's a great option. So typically the businesses are seeing this as an alternative to their pool cars, as an alternative to taxis and rental cars, and for the general public it's an alternative to having the second car, or if it's raining, instead of biking home, to book a Yoogo and take that home for the night. So we say to our customers, we're not your total solution. You'll still need cars in your fleet that you'll own or you'll lease, and we're just part of that transport puzzle that works with public transport and works with other sharing mobility, or cycling. So it's a great option for the city. To get moving, it's pretty simple. We say 5 easy steps. So you join online. When you join online, we take your driver's license details and just verify that you've got one, and then we send you one of these cards. You go online to book the car when you need it, and then you walk up to the car. You can either unlock it via your phone, or you swipe this card across the front of the car as well. There's an RFID reader. Then you obviously drive it around and do whatever you want, and then you return it back to the hub and you plug it into one of our chargers. And when you do that, you swipe this over the chargers. So if you're around West End car park anytime soon, go and the art gallery car park, go and have a look at the chargers in there. The art gallery ones were installed this week. And our 6th step, as we say, is do good, because you can feel happy with yourselves that you're driving a pure electric vehicle. It's got 0 carbon emissions, and it's also helping with better utilisation on the roads as well. So, as I said earlier, we've got 2 vehicles that we've launched with, the BMW i3 and the Hyundai Ioniq, and we're also very appreciative of the Cafe Fund and also ECA that have supported us with the project, and we've got Meridian as our electricity retailer in Canterbury as well. Does anyone have any questions that I can answer on it? Yep, fire away.
How much does it cost to hire a car?
So the minute rate, depending on what plan you're looking at, is like 40 cents a minute, or you're looking at around $13 to $15 an hour, or there's a day rate, or there's if you want to take if it's raining and you don't want to catch the bus home or cycle home, that's $36 for an overnight from 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock in the morning. So so both of the cars that we launch with have got a 200-kilometre range. So the other neat thing is this card interfaces with ChargeNet Orion chargers. So a lot of the Orion chargers in the city are free, which is wonderful, but you need to have a ChargeNet toggle to activate them, but also the Yoogo cards activate them as well.
Do you effectively write plans? So if I don't know how long I'm going to be, I might only be 15 minutes, do I have to book for an hour, or will you automatically book me for the time I have it?
We will auto extend. So say you've got a booking and you spend longer at the beach than you think. Be a good idea today, wouldn't it? So the booking will auto extend. Yeah. Bye.
Plan for expansion outside of the city?
Outside of Christchurch City, and in time we'd like to be in Auckland and the Canterbury region, absolutely. So we've already got customers like Ara Institute that do a lot of travel outside of the central city. So we're starting with central city, and then we're already looking at other hubs around the district, whether that was Rolleston or Selwyn, around that area as well. So really this first phase is very much a learning phase, and to get these 100 vehicles up and running, to get our foundation customers happy and confident using pure electric vehicles and sharing them, and then early next year with the general public using the vehicles, and then 2018, 2019 we plan to expand and grow the hubs as well.
So is your proposition green and accessibility and ease?
Yes, it's exactly right. Yeah. Our byline is the smart way to get around town. So it's smart because it's sustainable. It's smart because you're not tying your money up into a car. I was talking to an elderly man yesterday, and he said, I like to own. And I said, look, I get it. Yeah, that's how I was brought up as well. And I said to him, but when did you last make money on a car? And and how much does it cost for you to service it? And he goes, oh, okay, yeah. But, as I said, it's not the total answer. We're not saying it, go and throw away your car. We're just saying here's a transport option that's completely, zero carbon emissions. And in time, with greater expansion and hubs across the district, it will give you, a lot of flexibility around transport. Yeah. Any other questions? Go, Nick.
Imagine the foundation partners sort of generally use the vehicles from 9 to 5 and probably not at all on the weekends.
Yes.
I suppose the general public would be wanting to use them, I suppose, outside of those hours.
Yeah, we definitely want to get the general public using them. And I had an Uber driver this morning actually, and he said, could I book these vehicles as well, because he dropped me off to the art gallery hub so I could pick up one of the cars, and I said in time, we want, whether it's Domino pizza drivers, after hours that need someone, need a car, and there's definitely a lot of scope. Property developers are very keen on this concept because they can make a lot more money, on apartments than they can make on car parks. So, and you only have to look internationally. Car sharing is alive and well overseas. It's interesting, in New Zealand we're just a little bit behind on that. So we aim to catch up. Any other questions? Thanks for your time. Have a great day.